What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to Logan's Garage. Today we're going to be removing the turbo from my dad's 2004 6-liter Powerstroke. It's a early 2004 model, so if you're following along and trying to learn do it yourself and you have a late model 2004, it may look a little different, but hopefully we can get her out and get the new one in, see if we can make some power. We're going to be replacing it with a Garrett GT 378 VA. It's just stock replacement. All he does is commute with the truck, pulls a boat once in a while, so I think it'll be just fine. Stay tuned. As you can see, the truck's stock, other than EGR valve and EGR cooler delete. We've had this turbo in and out a couple times and determined that the VGT arm is bent and the vanes aren't opening. So we'll be pulling this out and just replacing it with a 2003 Garrett. First thing we're going to do is remove the battery terminals. I'm just going to remove the negative terminal from both batteries. It's an 8mm socket. Tuck them off to the side. Next, we're going to grab pliers and we're going to remove these coolant lines from the reservoir. As you can see, I already took the wiring loom off. There's just some connectors. A little tip for that is to, let's see what I can wedge in there. If you can wedge a screwdriver in there. I'll be right back. Let me grab a screwdriver. Alright, I'm back. Take your flathead screwdriver and pop it up in here. Just poke it down. Oops, a smaller one. And in here. Now keep your wiring harness out of the way. Next, you're going to grab an 8mm socket. Take these two screws off, put them off to the side. Now that we got the air filter removed, I like to take this coolant line and put it on both ends. Take my pliers and plug them so I can move the reservoir out of the way. See if I can get this guy on there. Just like that. Now I can pull the reservoir out of the way like this. Leave it there. That allows me to get into here, and there's two 10mm, I think they're 10mm nuts that need to come off so we can remove the rest of the intake. And you're gonna unscrew these two nuts. Once you got the intake out of the way, you got your coolant reservoir out of the way, take off the cold side pipe over here, and I'm going to take the whole thing off at the intercooler. I've replaced my boots, and these are new clamps. I believe from the factory they're 11mm. These ones are 10, so let me grab a socket and I'll be right back. Now with the cold side pipe out of the way off the turbo, you can get in here and you can remove the oil feed at the top of the turbo. You can pull the wiring harness for the VGT solenoid and just tuck that out of the way. You want to tuck this coolant line out of the way. Make sure you're not snagging your VGT harness. As you can see, I got a spacer in here. I couldn't find the bolt the last time, so I believe these are both 10 millimeters, so I'm gonna get in there with a wrench, a ratcheting wrench, and get these guys loose. Now you can tuck this off to the side, down here somewhere, where that'll hold it out of the way. Next, we're going to remove the V-band from the downpipe. It's 11 millimeter. I put a deep socket on the end with a swivel, and that way I can reach it all the way out here. Makes reaching it much easier. And then after that one, I've had this turbo out a couple times, so I've turned the V-band from the factory. If you've never touched it, you can see back here is another V-band. This is your up pipe, and it's going to be facing the other direction. I replaced it, and when I did, I turned the V-band around so I can get in there again with the same 11 millimeter swivel, and I can undo it all the way out in the engine bay. Just makes it a little easier. Now I got the V-bands off, I'm going to go and remove the bolt. Let's see if you can see it. This bolt right here, there's 3 that hold the turbo to the pedestal, the mounting pedestal. There's one here, and there's one back there, if you can see that. And then there's one all the way around the back. And that one's tricky, so they're 10 millimeter bolt, and on this first one you can get in there pretty easy actually with just a ratcheting wrench, and I've had these off obviously, so they break free pretty easy. Get in there, pull this out. So this one I grabbed the same 10 millimeter socket and the swivel with an extension, and I can hit that from out here. Just like that. And let me get in there, get my bolt. Don't lose the spacer that's on the end. And I already went and got the one in the back, so you saw the turbo fell forward. And it's free. There's a, let's see if you can see here, there's a oil drain that sits, and it's just pressure fit by the weight of the turbo and the hold downs. So you got to lift the turbo up off that feed, off this pedestal, and let's see if I can get the camera in a position you can watch me struggle and do this. It's by no means easy, but it's doable. Now when you get the turbo like this, you're going to rotate it up towards the alternator and out. It helps if you can get that. You can wiggle out your drain. So you can see the drain right there. It too's just pressure fit in. And if you can get in there and wiggle it loose, it kind of comes forward towards the radiator. You pull that out, it makes a world of difference. Got the drain. See that? Just pressure fits in with 2 O-rings. Now with that out, roll it towards the alternator. Oh gosh, and pull it right out. Whew. She's heavy. Alright, and there you have it. Turbo's out. You can see this is where your oil drain goes. Got the drain pipe. Just pressure fits in there, wiggle it in, get it snug. I have 2 new O-rings on it already. I just had the turbo out. And here's your pedestal. There's that 3rd bolt I was talking about. Kind of difficult to get to. You got to get over top of the downpipe and back in there. Here's the turbo we pulled. It's in good shape other than the VGT unison ring not opening and closing the vanes, you know, no shaft play. Turbo spins really nicely, so it's a shame we couldn't get the arm straight. Maybe we'll do another video pulling it apart, see if we can get a new arm for it, see if we can free it up. Removal. In the next video we'll be replacing it with a Garrett GT 378 VA stock replacement turbo. Stay tuned.